Welcome to the belated weekly rotation for this week. I'm going to do something a little bit different this week. I've got a bunch of empty samples that I've drained in this last 7 days, and I just want to go through them. 2 from Santa Maria Novella, 2 from Czech Speake, and 1 Andy Tower perfume. I've mentioned these before in previous videos as I've been testing them. And I can say that of these 5, none of them, although I liked a couple of them, none of them I feel, now that I've finished the sample, I feel like I need a bottle of or to try anymore. And it's kind of always quite satisfying going through a sample and making that decision, or at least knowing that you don't need something or you do need something. And whereas like with a couple of these perfumes, the first time I tried them, I was tempted to almost buy a bottle based on that first try. And I've kind of grown, over the years, I've kind of grown out of that. And I'm very glad now that I've got the patience to get through a sample or a small decant of something and make my decision based on that. The Czech Speake perfumes I'll talk about first. The first one is Cuba Cologne. This was one where on my first wear, I was so impressed by it that this was one that I almost considered getting. And with subsequent wears, it impressed me less and less. The other one, which was 88 Eau de Parfum, actually grew on me as I went through the sample. And on my last wearing of this perfume, I enjoyed it, but there is something that I can't quite pinpoint in this composition that nags at me. It's a particular note or an accord in there, and I can't really put my finger on what it is that is. It's basically the reason why I'm not interested in getting this perfume, because the rest of it is actually really nice. And I will say that it's kind of in the same realm of as Chanel's Antaeus. And so given that I've got Antaeus and I enjoy wearing that, I really feel like I didn't need to have any more 88 Eau de Parfum. Although I mainly liked it, there was just something that just nagged at me about this perfume. Santa Maria Novella, I finished my samples of Tabacco Toscano and Nostalgia, and I like both of them. I like Nostalgia a little bit more. It's definitely this sort of greasy motor oil latex combination that's really interesting. But a couple of things. It's definitely been discontinued, which means it's going to be harder to get. And I'm not quite enamored of the idea of wearing that kind of perfume quite regularly. So it was easy for me to sort of let that one go. Tabacco Toscano is perfectly pleasant. I still get reminded of a more tobacco-y version of Bulgari Black, which I used to love and used to own, no longer. So I didn't feel like I needed that either. The last sample that I finished was Sundowner by Andy Tower. It's very difficult for me to say that there is anything wrong with this perfume. It is kind of a slightly dirty tobacco-based perfume. It's kind of strange. It just didn't feel like a complete composition to wear. So it felt a bit one-dimensional on my skin, and it just didn't really connect with me at all. Okay, so going back to last Monday, I started off with my current love, which is Sevilla L'Aube by Lattice and Parfumeur. This, as if you've watched my most recent top 10 video. This is my number one at the moment. And another perfume that I truly love is 34 Boulevard Saint-Germain by Diptyque. Beautiful, beautiful perfume. One of the few perfumes where I can tolerate a very discreet sort of eucalyptus note as well as a good tuberose note. They don't dominate because it's lots of ambery kind of resins and woody accords that intertwine with everything else, but it's just a beautiful, beautiful composition. On Tuesday, Old Faithful Heritage Eau de Toilette by Guerlain. And then I went with the earthy, lush, leafy, floral animalics of Pistil by Miskeo Parfums. Wednesday was another Miskeo day, although this one, unfortunately, is one that most of you may not ever smell. This was my bespoke perfume from Miskeo. It's called Ponte Vecchio. Marie made this for me, and I absolutely love it. Now, on Thursday, I wore my sample of Guerlain's Vol de Nuit, ED, I think it's a vintage EDP. I could be wrong. I'll put that on the screen if I am. And I'm really enjoying it. Although now that I've finally tried it, I'm really glad that I've had the opportunity to try it. At this stage, I'm leaning towards not getting a bottle of this in any form. It's really interesting perfume, this combination of the green galbanum in the opening, coupled with this kind of powdery amber accord in the middle. It's a really interesting, quite unique combination. I've got quite a bit of it left, and I'm going to continue to wear it and see if I fall more in love with it or just not connect with it at all. On Friday, Vetiver by Guerlain. So I've worn quite a bit of Guerlain this week. This has kind of been even though I've had this for a few years, this has kind of been my sleeper perfume for 2023. Like, I already liked it, but it's almost kind of snuck up on me this year. A, how often I've worn it, and B, just that I keep getting more and more impressed with it every time I wear it. And look, a lot of people have their opinions about the best vetiver perfumes, their preferred vetiver perfumes. If someone who is kind of new to perfume or new to vetiver perfumes asks me about what to try, my answer will always be to start with this and then go exploring. But I still have not found another vetiver dominant perfume that I prefer over this perfume. Yesterday being Saturday, I went with one of my favorite leather chypre, Belle Amie by Hermes. And finally, Sunday, it's very warm today, probably the warmest spring day we've had so far, spring because we're in the southern hemisphere. And I am going to finish off this video with my Mugler cologne. So just a note on this, I believe that this version, just called Mugler cologne, is now discontinued. And I know a few years ago they released a series of colognes, and I think, I could be wrong, but I think the one that basically replaced this, they gave the name Come Together to. And now, if I'm reading correctly, I think that line has now been discontinued. And these used to come in big 300ml bottles, and I haven't actually gone through much because I do tend to wear this quite seasonally. I very rarely wear it in colder months, and man, every time I spray this on, nothing beats that refreshing kind of feeling. It is the quintessential clean, soapy fragrance. I know it's a cliche to describe a perfume like that, but there is nothing cleaner and more refreshing than spraying this on. And the little tip, in hot months, keep this in the fridge and then spray it on regularly with abandon. That is my weekly rotation for this week. I hope you're all having a great week, and I will see you soon for another video. Bye for now.